There was one really pivotal interview I did early in my career, and sometimes my New England accent escapes when I get excited talking about something. So interview rather than interview. I had a subject who was a sheriff's department deputy in Hamilton County, Tennessee. And he was assisting an officer, a lieutenant in that department, in an extortion and steroid distribution ring. And Chuck and I, as we're driving up to the hotel in Cleveland to do this meeting, he said to me, Jim, the only way we leave this interview is with a confession or with the guy asking for an attorney. Otherwise, we're staying. We're not giving up. We're going to get something from this guy. And, that was really important. You don't do any, there's no misconduct involved, but you just keep working. You just keep working. You just keep working. You just keep working until you get the information that you need. But you have to be tenacious and relentless, and you've got to have a lot of patience. You have to be able to pull every tool out of the toolbox to get that pivotal confession. Years later, the guy confessed, and he really helped us move the ball forward. He called me the next day, first of all, and he said, I want to talk to you more about, what happened last night. And we talked for about a half an hour, and we just talked about a lot of stuff. We didn't just talk about the case. Years later, after he came out of prison, he did a couple of years in prison. He called me again, and he said, do you remember that time I called you the day after I confessed to you? I said, yeah. He said, the whole time we were talking, I had a gun to my head. And he said, I was just waiting for you to say the wrong thing. And I was going to blow my head off, and you were going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. And I'm like, I'm so glad you didn't, right? I didn't want that to happen. It's just a crime, right? It's just a crime. You can go on and have a great life from here, make good decisions. And I guess to round that story out, another year or two later, he called me and he said, I want you to know, just had my first child with my wife. He said, and we named the baby Chance. And he said, it's because you gave me a second chance. So that was really meaningful, right? That we did this interview, that the FBI taught me how to do, that the senior agent drilled into me how to do this effectively, that I treated somebody like a human being, and that, it came full circle. I mean, it's just, you got to treat people nice. Be nice to people. Be firm, be fair, but be nice.
Thanks for listening to Courtroom Stories and Tactics by RVA Trial Lawyers. Hosted by Sharif Gray and Niall Abusaki. Please subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any major podcast platform. Together, we're building a tribe of trial lawyers to remind the world what human life is truly worth, one verdict at a time.